Hello everyone, this is V and we are here for the spotlight video for the Mongols, Genghis Khan and his friends. The Mongols have a start bias on planes,
Emperor of the mighty Mongol Empire. Your fists shatter the walls of cities.
which is okay for production, which is usually what you really want. As you can imagine, the Mongols are a warrior race, a little like well, Klingons, I guess. The main thing about the Mongols is that if you don't go to war, they have no abilities. So we have to judge them based on almost entirely on their ability to wage war in the various stages of the game, because that's the only thing they actually do. And their start bias is not as good as Attila's in my experience, but that may be very subjective, of course. So what do the Mongols give us? Not that much, actually. We gain 30% combat strength when fighting city-states. That's okay. It's not something you generally want to do often, but it can be your first target. Unfortunately a little, because if you attack a city-state early on, then the main purpose of that is going to be XPing your units. And if you're XPing your units, the last thing you want is to kill them off as quickly as possible on the other side. So it's not all it's cracked up to be. So yeah, that's definitely something that's a little unfortunate, but yeah, we have to work with it. And of course the other thing it has is that it grants all mounted units a +1 movement. And that's a core ability for everything that's going to be following. So let's take a look at what they have. They have here in Chivalry the Keshik. 5 move, 2 range, 16 strength, and it's a knight variant. As you can see, it earns promotions much faster than other units, which is important because you can't prep them. You cannot XP them before you get them, so the rush has to start with the construction of the Keshiks, and if that weren't the case, that you get more XP, well, it would be quite a problem. Now, to accompany this, we get the Khan. I will show it in the Civilopedia. Khan. Yeah. So the Khan has the same 5 movement as the Keshik, which is helpful for a general on the battlefield, so that makes it a lot better. And in addition, it increases the healing of nearby units by 15 per turn, if they are healing at all, of course. So that's very important. There are a few caveats, namely one important thing to do when you are conquering is to actually take the city. And if you have a lot of mobile units that can take cities, well, how are you gonna do that? Well, you will have to use horsemen. You can, I guess, use longswordmen or pikemen if that's really needed, but you really want to make some horses and keep them around. And since they both cost horses, that means you are 100% map dependent on whether you can make a rush in the mid-game or not. And that pretty much sucks. Why does it suck? Well, pretty obvious. If you don't have horses, you can't do anything. And if you do have horses, you can only do anything if, well, if you actually want to conquer. So you have to endanger your diplomatic position at a preset moment in your development, namely immediately after reaching chivalry. If you wait too long, you're gonna have 16 strength. You can take out musketmen with that without too much issues, but if it goes up to riflemen, Gatling guns, it's game over. And that means that you have basically only the Renaissance era to wage war in, and it's not the ideal moment. So when does Mongolia excel? It excels on lower difficulties in my experience. If you are playing up to Immortal, then the Keshik rush will be absolutely devastating to your opponents, because they will be only slightly ahead, definitely not more than a few ticks ahead at that point. It will work well if you are on a map where you have multiple targets to take out quickly after the other. So that's a few conditions that need to be met. If you don't meet either one of them, then, well, you cannot build on the small advantage you do have, and then you're basically playing a Civ without any abilities. Now, this combination of being forced to act in a certain moment and under certain condition, it's enough to make me say that this is for me one of the weakest civs in the game. I won't claim it is the weakest, but it's definitely not something you are going to be playing for, well, for fun if you're willing to go for a special game. Basically, you are being forced into combat, into conquest at a moment that you might not benefit from it a lot. So it's a 2 out of 10 for me, and it might even be a 1 if I had more time to think about everything. It's a vanilla Civ without any real benefit. So what are we actually doing playing it if we are pigeonholed into doing one exact thing? And yeah, as you can see, we have no horses. We have 2 horses here and nothing else. So unless we settle here for another 6 horses, we basically can't do anything with any of our specials. We might get those horses eventually, but can't even buy the tile. So yeah, that's just gonna go to show you what the problems of this Civ are. This was useful, and see you next time.